And welcome back to back to another day. Mr. Darrell Walker. Welcome to Trauma Support Group Management. And today, I know I was just sharing a couple of videos. We was talking about about our thinking and things that go on the mind. So I just want to open up and share with you that the where I'm at right now, it was because of some of the decisions I made, some of the things I processed, some of the things that I recognized, and some of the things that I had to change. But it all starts with a decision. Me getting on here today, this day 4, not countdown, but accountability is another thing that's gonna be another class. But this day 4, and I had to run some errands. I'm a little late today. I went grocery shopping, and I was just out thinking, and I had a encounter with a lady today, and um, I was walking past her car or whatever, and her daughter, like locked the door. And I was like, to be honest with you, I was like, man, I said she had to lock the door. That's kind of offensive. And the lady, she came to me. She's like, "What'd you say about my daughter?" I said, "Well, I'm not going to bother you. I'm waiting on my ride. Like, she didn't have to lock the door. I'm not going to bother your daughter." That's what I said. And she goes, "Oh well, you need to apologize." So humility, self control, everything I talked to y'all about is tested or to refine me to see if I'm backing up what I'm speaking. So I'm gonna show you that I'm backing up what I'm speaking. So I didn't give the lady no, I didn't get triggered. I said, "Ma'am, you know what?" I said, "Since you feel like I offend you, I apologize." And she was just running her mouth, da 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 da. I said, "Okay." I said, "Ma'am, listen, I understand that I offended you, and I have apologized to you." I said, "After this, there should be no more that you should say to me because I already apologized to you." And she was just, and she said something in Spanish. Now, for y'all that don't know me, I'm Bequito Espanol. Glorias a Dios, salud. You feel me? So, mucho te amo. Corazon mucho bueno. Mucho loco hombre, but corazon mucho bueno. So, she was talking Spanish like I ain't know Spanish. So she was cussing me out. And I was teaching y'all, like I said, I don't get on here and teach y'all stuff that I don't do myself. And could I have lost control? Could I have what we call sometimes get in the flesh? Or could I have been triggered? Yes. But due to the fact that, first of all, hey, I might did say something to her, offend her. And I thought about that. Okay, maybe I did offend her. See, the class is still on the mind. Just stay with me. So I said, maybe I did offend her. And I apologized to her. After she cussed me out, you know what I said to her? Glorious adios, salud. And don't say no more to me. And next thing you know, it was exactly. So the point of that lesson saying, you don't have to respond, or your thought process, you might have to address your thought process, because a lot of people that deal with pride, they say, "Oh, ain't nothing wrong with me," or "I don't think, ain't like that." And on today's class, it's going to be about cognitive thinking. Now, cognitive thinking is your brain processing how you learn, how you remember, how you let me get it right. How you read, learn, remember, process, and pay attention. Also, you also take the information, like some of the information I'm giving to you is actually turned into knowledge. So if you're studying something and you're pursuing something and you're studying it, one day you could put it into knowledge. So my life, I have studied and I have learned it, but now I can sit here and teach you knowledge. I just gave you some knowledge, like, hey, sometimes you can be wrong, and sometimes humble yourself and say, you know what, I apologize. And but there, after that, after you apologize, you don't let nobody ridicule you or humiliate you or insult you. When you try to get it right, then that's when the boundaries come in. Hey, ma'am, check this out. That's enough. And you can say it in gently and love. Some people do it in anger or frustration or in anxiety or fear. And I'm just also letting you know that the person you see today, I haven't always been like that. I mean, like I told you, I like to give you the bad before the good. I have not always been the type of person. And if some of y'all probably look at me and probably, discern or check my character, or probably some of y'all know me from the past, I wasn't a talkative type of person. Like, there's nothing to talk about. Like, we can see about it. And that's immaturity. I was immature back then. I used to be a bad guy. I used to be a real bad guy, like a real stone, not to appraise or trigger myself or conjure up anything in me, but I had a street name. It was called Baby Gangster. Think of that name. Look at the lifestyle I live. People know me. People really know me. They don't know me when I got my butt whooped. They know when I gave out butt whoopers. They know when I had money. They know when I was down and out. They know me. People know me. So today, in my mind, when I was dealing with this lady, I said, Darrell, because your mind is real fast. It's like my mama asked me, she said, son, how you remember, or how you think all that stuff while you talking? Because your mind processes like that. See, as I'm talking to you, boom, boom, boom. See how my finger moving, everything moving. That's how fast your mind moves. Now, if you like this, put it down. I'm just saying, you feel me? Put it down. Keep it real. But it's good to have a laugh too. So, if you're slow on your processing, that's okay. Practice how, or just take your time or where you at, and then practice to do better. So, some people learn faster than other people, which is understandable. I'm a fisherman of men. I bet you can show me something one time or tell me something one time, and I got it. And my sister thinks I'm a genius. So, today, like I said, we're going to talk about continental thinking. And I don't want to repeat myself, but like I said, continental thinking is learning, reading, processing, memory, paying attention, and taking information and turning it into knowledge. That is the definition of continental thinking. Okay? So today, I have a question. It's a Q&A. I put up a Q&A for you guys. Maybe I need to advertise when I go live, but I know certain days that I have to do certain things. So I'm going to start practicing to level up, raise the standard bar, and start posting on Facebook and my Instagram when I go live. So, because I want to have a Q&A box. It says chat with me, but I have nobody to sit here, and that's fine. Because, like I said, it's really not the cloud. It's not about, gaining popularity. This is really about sitting down and helping somebody. And I also want to give a shout out to Kiki, and one of my old friends, one of my old ex-girlfriends, keep it real, back in the days. She texted me and she commented me, and she let me know that because of my video, I am encouraging her to go to the next level. So I know I'm not doing this in vain, and I'm so excited for that. And I thank you, Miss. Thank you for your support. I really do. I conversated with her, and we go way back. But just to go back on the thinking, how do you see yourself right now? Like right now, if I say, "Hey, how do you feel about yourself?" Yeah, it's a question. I'm waiting on the answer. Okay. However you feel, that's cool. But if you're in a situation, and just from from life experiences, before I sat here, while I'm sitting, I have a video on my phone, one of my cell cards, and I have a video when I was homeless on the beach with seagulls and pigeons. Now, that story is true. I was staying in Fort Lauderdale off of US 1 on the beach. I had a lady that used to drive the city bus. I forget her name. And, she didn't know I was homeless. I didn't carry myself like I was homeless. But I used to be homeless before I sat right here. I used to be homeless. Another nip tip, not to get off the subject, but in your thinking, a reason why a lot of people don't change because we're ashamed of where we came from, or we're embarrassed of where we came from, and that's understandable. Nobody wants to look at where they come from, or nobody wants to address what hell they've been through. But you have to, you have to address these things so you can change. You have to address these things so you can change. Because why? You have certain thought behaviors, like bereavement. Bereavement is, a loss of a loved one. Okay, and I don't know about y'all. Just to share a little bit with you. I have a relationship with Christ, right? But my daddy died on Christmas Day. True story. Now, in my thought process, I should have a rebellion towards God because, okay, God, as the world say, or however you want to put it, I'm not a theology. I'm not going to get that in depth with that. But world tradition is December 25th, and that's supposed to be the birth of Jesus Christ. That's the world tradition. Now, don't argue with me because, like I said, I'm not a theologian. I'm just going by how I was raised, okay? So, in my thought process, I could be angry. Let me keep it real with you. I was angry. My daddy died in 2000. 6 years of my life disappeared. My family could tell you that when Christmas came, nobody couldn't find me. You got to think about my birthday from January. My birthday's in January, so from Christmas all the way from New Year's to January, I was incognito. Nobody couldn't find me. Where's Waldo? Straight up. So in my mind, I was thinking, Lord, this is wrong. You took my father on your day, but you want me to love you. You want me to talk about you, Jesus Christ, and all this. And in my mind, I wasn't thinking that. I wasn't feeling that. But what came for me to change is my thought process. Okay, Darrell, 6 years gone, your life gone. It's time for you to come out this bubble. What can you do? Listen, in your mind, what can you do to change who you are? What can you do to talk better? What can you do to dress better? What can you do to change your attitude? What can you do to be more productive with yourself? I'm also reaching out. Like I said, if anybody offended about the stepmother thing, the father thing, I ain't trying to offend nobody. I'm just sharing experiences. But also, I have relations with nieces and nephews and brothers and sisters. So I'm not putting down anything. But I don't feel guilty or convicted. I would just want to share professionally that don't feel offended of me sharing. But you can also think about what kind of relationships do you have with your kids? What kind of relationships do you have with your peers? Now, I need you to sit down and think. Right now, if you have your child in front of you, or you see your child or hear your child talking in the distance, how do you think about your child? Right. So, that being said, that's your decision making. If you're not positive about a child that you had, you should address the way you think. I'm just really using openness because the way people thought of me, it reflected, oh, that was good. You know why? It reflected because I heard what they thought and it went into my thought process and it manifests. So with that occasion, I stopped that. I started my mind said, you know what, Darrell? Don't go by what people think about you. What do you think about yourself, Darrell? And I came to grips in reality and say, you know what? Dang, bro. I did used to be a gangbanger. I did used to be a drug addict. I used to be homeless. I used to be panhandling. I did have bad relationships. I did was an alcoholic, cigarette smoker. I did have violent tendencies in my younger days. And I did have a low self-esteem. I did have a poverty mindset. I didn't believe in me, period. So if you're a person today that doesn't believe in themselves, you have to change your mindset. If you begin today, if you've been talking with me like I've been talking with you guys, say this and say that. If you could say today, I could change the way I think. Say it. Say, I can change the way I think. You can change the way you think. What got me here today also is that there are some patterns or behaviors in our mind that makes our character. I don't have no notes. This is just straight off the dome, straight off my mind. There was a time in my age that I thought I was a real life gangster. I wanted to live that gangster life. And if you look at my record, if you ask people who I am, they'd be like, yeah, he lived up to that name. Matter of fact, they used to call me Baby Junkie. I'm keeping it real. This raw, uncut. Thank you. Somebody told me that today in one of their comments. They say, your videos is pure, raw, it to be. That's how I wanted it to be. This ain't no sugarcoat. This ain't no fairy tale lollipop world. So back in the days, in my mind, you couldn't tell me I wasn't no gangster. You couldn't tell me what said I wasn't banging. You couldn't tell me I ain't have money, and you couldn't tell me I ain't have cocaine. You couldn't tell me I couldn't fight. You couldn't tell me I couldn't pull some of the baddest women. You couldn't tell me nothing because that's how I thought about myself. I didn't think about myself. Now, when I was young, I thought about myself as a football player, a triathlon, because I'm a triathlon. I can play any sport. I probably still do a backflip, not just one, because after that, my equilibrium go off. But today, this is how I think of myself. I'm a person that can change people's lives. I'm a person that can show myself and others that you can change and live and maintain that course. Now, there's a lot of things people don't do. We make a change, and then when we change, we revert back to the old mindset. That's called relapsing. And relapses is not just drugs. Relapse is not drinking. Relapses can be your behavior, the way you think, the way you speak. There are many ways to relapse. So when y'all see me say relapse no more, it ain't just drugs. It ain't just women. It's not just smoking and doing all that. My behavior, the way I talk, the way I dress, the way I look, the way I present myself, the way how I interact with people, all of them things. I relapse every day, some kind of way. But I get back on track. One thing I'm not going to relapse is with drugs, drinking, and hanging around the wrong crowd in a toxic relationship. But sometimes in my mind, I do relapse. Sometimes that gangster, BG want to pop out. But today he dead. So what are you saying, Mr. Walker? You can tell your old self that old behavior, that old way of thinking, that old pathway of life, you got to die. That's how I got here today. Believe it or not, true story. I hope they don't come put me in the asylum after this, but this is true. I was on the side of a car wash building in Fort Lauderdale, peeking and geeking, trying to hide the bomb. I'd taken a little rest. I was tired, trying to get away from the crowd. And I had to wrestle with myself mentally. I said, Darrell, it's time for you to get right. And then, my alter ego, which is some of us have split personalities. Baby Gangster was like, no, we're going to get high one more time. Just one more time. And Darrell said no. And there I was having a conversation and a battle within. We have battles within ourselves. Why? Because there's a side of your mind, I can't tell you which side, but there's a side of your mind when you're supposed to do right, and it tells you to do right. But the other side tell you, you ain't got to do right. I've been like this. You ever heard somebody say, well, I ain't got to change because I've been like this. You don't want to change. You set you straight in your ways, not knowing that there's a better you. There is a better you. And at that time in the story, I was wrestling with myself about either getting better or getting high and making money again. And I wrestled with myself. I thought I was losing. I really thought I was losing. We have, I remember reading the book called Battlefield of the Mind. I don't forgot the author, forgive me. I think, I don't know, probably, was it Joyce Myers? I think probably Joyce Myers. I'm not sure, but it was called Battlefield of the Mind. And we have a battlefield in our minds every day. Have you ever been told to do something and gave you direction to do it, and your mind said, no, I ain't doing that? You know why? Because your mind is accustomed to that process. When me as a person, I like to learn. I sat here and studied about cognitive thinking before I even talked to y'all. Matter of fact, I took a class when I was at my sister's house. You can ask her. Every time she came in the house, when my nieces came in the house, I was in front of this computer with a pen and paper. Matter of fact, here goes a trauma support group management book, handwritten by me personally, with all kinds of suggestions and notes and everything. Like, this is a book that I need to publish by itself. Seriously, that's a book that I sat down and handwritten by myself. How to help people out, and also remind myself of my own personal notes. When I say I got notes, I got notes. I got pages and pages of just sitting down writing. Why? Because I had to reprogram my mind. Okay, I'm making a fresh start. When you make a fresh start, you can't have the old attitude. You can't drink. You can't smoke. You can't, hey boo, what's up, Martin? You can't do none of that. Not when you're trying to change your character. Now, I'm not going to say you could change immediately. Some people change quicker than others. The reason why they change quicker than others because they mind, they tired. In my mind, I was tired of how I was. I was tired of thinking of myself that I wasn't better, that I ain't never going to have nothing. I'm never going to be nothing in life. I was tired of thinking about suicide. I was tired of thinking about the next dollar, the next woman, the next sexual confrontation, not confrontation, yeah, but sometimes it's confrontation. It's a little turn on, excuse me, don't tell nobody, right? But the next sexual encounter, just your mind just driving for things to kill you. The things that we're doing, if you're smoking, you're drinking right now, it's killing you. If you're arguing with somebody, it's killing you. If you're feeling depressed today, it's killing you. And I want to shake you and say, hey, wake up. Wake up. You don't have to be like that. I'm a prime example. I'm using myself as an example because I have been in the slump. I done slept at bus stop, wrapped up in a sheet, straight up on my back. Wake up, feet swole, ankle swole. So if you got it made in the shade, you got money, you got a job, you got 2 cars, whatever the case may be, and you ain't been where I've been, and you feeling bad about your life and yourself, it's maybe time for you to change your thinking. Because when you think you got it bad, you have to think somebody has it worse. And I am mindful of people as I grow and continue. I have people that hang around me and do added things, but I don't judge them. And, I just share with them, hey, what you're doing, I used to do, but, something happened and I give my little stories, what made me change, and that's it. And be cordial with them. I don't know. I'm going to just put it out there. Us Christians, I don't walk around saying I'm a Christian. I don't walk around saying I'm a man of God. I don't do that. I would let a person know that I'm saved and I'm delivered. But see, in a psychological mind, we got to learn this balance. We got to understand some people, us street people, we know psychology off the rip. Like, we can read you, we can talk you, make you change your mind. So I know psychology. And I learned that God gave me this tool. You could represent Jesus Christ just by your image. When people see me, they be like, dang, boy, you look good. Okay, you give God credit. But you also gotta think, when you say you give God credit, some people, the enemy, or some people get triggered because you got to think, oh Lord, here go, gotta think how people think. Here go another Christian. Oh, he think he better than us now. No, I'm not better than you. I just made changes. Am I still BG? I can't say, no, I'm not BG. That was a street name that I had at the time. That's who I thought I was. But today, I'm Mr. Walker. My name's Darrell Walker. Now, you know, from the street, oh, bro, we don't give out our governments. We don't. But I ain't in the street, so there goes my government. See how that right there, just right in front of you, see how my mind and my character and my talk and everything just changed right in front of your face. And you can sit down and address some things on how you think. If you have, I don't know where I'm going here, but I'm going. If you have sexual attentions all the time, quit looking at Instagram and Facebook. I'm single. Now, don't get me wrong. I do scroll. I'm not perfect. Don't get me wrong. I'm keeping it one above. I see some women, Puerto Rican women, I'm like, Lord Jesus, help me. And keep on scrolling. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep it real. I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. That's one thing about me. I'm not perfect. I'm human just like you. I'm just striving and thriving to be a better person. That's my thought process. Because you got to think about it. Women that we do see, or women that do look good, we got two heads, right? Keep it real. I ain't trying to, being careful here. But we have us men, we have two heads. And it's been time, I ain't think with this one, and ended up somewhere I ain't want to be. And doing some things I really didn't want to do. But in your mind, your first process was like, don't mess with that girl, or don't mess with that man. And what you do? You don't think with this. You think with the other. And that's why some women or men today are, have relationships and kids that the father's not around because you didn't think about the future. You thought about that moment. And I'm a perfect example for that. I never thought about the future. I was thinking about the moment. When the next dollar, when the next high, who the next girl, and where I'm finna go lay my head. I'm keeping it real. And we got to quit thinking about what can we feel and obtain right now. We got to start looking ahead, especially right now in this world, it's the war, whatever. I don't watch the news. I'm sorry. I get news from other people. My TV is on worship channel 24 hours a day. I'm serious. Like, if I, shout out to Nino Brown. I ain't trying to get no clout from you, but hey, bro, I do watch you on Facebook, and he's my black news reporter, Nino Brown. He knows everything, and I'm not promoting him, and I'm just sharing you who I watch. And some of the things that you can see on the internet can affect your mind. We got to be careful what we allow in our gates, what we see, what we hear, what we smell, and what we taste. Even people touching you. I'm not telling you to be coronavirus or nothing, but if you're taking a change and you're making a change, and you know that you used to do old things like smoking and drinking and you used to gang bang, you can't go back to the block. You can't dip and dab because I done dipped and dab. And it cost me almost my life and my freedom. And I'm trying to save some people today. If you see this video today, I'm trying to save you from dibbling and dabbling. Listen, things are getting real. The world is getting real. I don't know what Jesus is coming back. I can't. But I know from my life experience that I have lost so much that I don't want to lose no more. In my mind, that's all I used to think about. I don't know why I'm talking to you, but sometimes we got to quit thinking about what we lost. It's gone. It's over with. It's time to think about what we can gain. What's ahead? Okay, and then you say, oh, Mr. Walker, I can't think like that. Guess what? You just told yourself the wrong thing out your mouth and in your brain. Today, I know in my brain, somebody's going to watch this video and their thinking is going to change, because if you want to better yourself, your thinking has to change. Your thinking goes with your attitude. Your thinking goes with your behavior. Your thinking goes the way you carry yourself, how you speak. I don't know what my sister see in me. She said, "Bro, you're a genius." And I can just recall one night I was with her, and she said, "How you do fractions?" True story. She said, "Bro, how do you do fractions?" I said, "Give me a piece of paper." And immediately, I showed her how to add, divide, multiply, and subtract at one time on fraction. My sister was like, "Boy, I don't know what kind of brain you got on your head." So, to my sister speaking life into me that I'm a genius, this is her fruit. She spoke life into me. She said I'm a genius. Now that I have studied, now that I have overcame, now that my mind is clear, and that where I'm at today, I had to think myself here. I had to get off that bus stop. I had to get off that drug. I said, Darrell, you have to change. And guess what? Before the words come out your mouth, your brain has to think it first. So I'm being educational, but I'm also keeping it real. And some of us need to stop saying what we think, because you don't know how you affect the other person. And plus, on top of that, you don't know how it affects yourself, because the Bible says the measure that you measure the others, it will be measured back to you. And that's why I speak life and positivity. I'm not the type of guy. And my sister and my nieces could tell you this. I be talking about something and something in somebody, and I'll be like, look, I'm not finna say that. I have conversations with people. They want to talk about people. I'm not finna sit around and talk about this individual, because at the end of the day, in your mind, if you got something to say to that person, say it to their face. But you know what we do? We think, and then when we come to the point to address the person, do you ever notice them thoughts be gone? They be like, well, tell me what you think. Tell me what you were thinking or saying about me. And people like, and then be nitpicking. But when you talk to the next person, your thought person's running. Because in your mind, you know you want to say that to that person to their face. So you'll say it behind their back. That's why a lot of people don't like to be addressed. Because in their mind, you can't address me, or I don't say what I said about you. That's why gossip and division, we have to stop that. Excuse me, I don't know why I do that. I don't know what that is. But we have to stop. If you have a problem or you have an issue with somebody and you're in their environment, in their area, I don't deal with this chain gang, especially in the chain gang. Us people, we already think, okay, that person don't like me, or I think, oh yeah, he look like he might do something to me. Our mind is already thinking all these crazy things. What we need to do is grab our mind and tell our minds to stay in control. Sometimes when I'm lonely, and I keep it real with you, I haven't been intimate, but sometimes my mind go on intimacy. I'm like, hold on, because I don't have nobody to be intimate with, for number one. Number two, that's not what I want in my life right now. What I want in my life, my thinking. I'm sharing my mind with you. I want to help people. I want to see where these classes and the videos going, who they touching. I want to see change. I want people to respond to me and say, hey man, you know what? You helped me change. Like that lady, she, my lady friend, she texted me. I woke up this morning and I seen that text that she said, that my videos was raw deal and uncut. Do you know what my thought process was? Boy, I'm 100. That was the first thing that came out my mouth. Boy, I'm 100, because I'm 100. I'm keeping 100 with y'all about what I'm doing. And it's not really about me, but I'm just an example. It's about you. Are you keeping it 100? the way you think about yourself or the way you think about others. So, that being said, recognize how you think. I'm trying to end. I know I took an hour long time. I guess I'm getting comfortable with this, but recognize how you think. Notice how you name yourself and how you think. You're like, oh, I'm the baddest. I guess so. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm that new. I guess so. Because you know what you think, what the Bible says, from the heart, what a man thinketh, so is he. See, that's, I'm getting processes here, okay? And what you think, that's what you are. I think one day, from just this video, somebody seeing me, they're gonna become a motivational speaker. I think from this video, somebody's gonna put down drugs and drinking and really deal with their issues. That's what I think. That's why I make these videos. I think today somebody sees a difference in me and they know me and they're proud. You ain't got to tell me you're proud of me. I'm proud of me. I appreciate me. I'm not being conceited. I'm just building myself. It's a difference when you're being conceited and you're building yourself. I'm just building myself. I don't need the pats on the backs and accolades. I don't need that. I do that when I do this. When I wake up, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for waking me another day. Come on, Darrell. Let's make another video. When I tell my brother, you can ask him, what you gonna do today? I'm finna go live. So, I want to not be too long because yesterday I did an hour, but I want to challenge you guys on how you think. I want to challenge you guys, or you women, especially you women. It's some of y'all, some beautiful women out there, but the way y'all think about yourself, it turns those men off. I don't see some beautiful women. I'll be like, you're so beautiful. They'll be like, what's wrong with you? Oh, you just saying that. Oh, you really don't feel like that. Another thing is my mom, she shared with me about my hands. She said, son, she said, you have some nice hands. I said, well, I take care of myself. But let me keep it real. These hands ain't always look like that. These hands used to have weed things on the back of it, burn marks, calluses. What you saying, Mr. Walker? Once upon a time, I wasn't the person I am today. And you have to quit thinking about who you used to be and think about who you can be. And I encourage you to try this. You can change. This encouraged me today. And I thank everybody for the opportunity for sitting down and listening to me. I do want you to comment and share. If you're trying to reach me, you can reach me at t.s.g.m 47 if you're trying to reach me. If not, leave a comment. Y'all know my messenger, my Facebook, OGBG Bingo. That's my Facebook. And I have the Forced View on Facebook and Instagram. Now, I'm finna show y'all something real quick. Let me show y'all something. In my heart, it was just to share what I'm saying. But see how my thinking was on advertisement? Because I wasn't trying to advertise. I'm trying to show you that you can think. See how my brain was like, because my brain was like, what you doing? We're on course talking about changing people and everything. Why are you advertising? See how the struggle was with my thinking with that? Because when you're focused on doing what you're supposed to be doing, and then you try to go off course, you scramble your brain. I just showed you right in front of you. So, like I said, today, make a new mindset. Write down some goals. Get your piece of paper and write what you like about yourself. Write some notes for you to make goals for you to change. I have a vision board. My sister got it. I wish y'all bring it, please. I have a vision board that I made. And right now, I can check off on my vision board. I have a YouTube channel to help people. To help people. It's something that I have on my vision board. When I get it, I'll show you. YouTube channel. And you'll see a exclamation mark quotes saying helping others, helping people. I can check that because somebody texted me today and told me that I helped them. And that's, I want God to bless me more and more, but my motive, thank you, Mike. My motive for doing this, I'm going to say this like I said in the beginning because you know I'm finna go. This is not about clout. It's not about the views and the shares and the comments. It's really about helping people. If you want to bless me, bless me. I'm not even finna advertise what to send it to because I told you in the first video. But if you want to bless me, bless me. If you don't want to bless me, share my video or at least comment. Give me a response to how that video impacts you. Give me some response because I'm looking for feedback. I want feedback. That one person comment me to keep going. Now, let me get it correct. In my mind, I already have it made up to do it and hear everything. But when you get something reciprocal back to you, it pushes your mind and it pushes you to go harder. I think today I spoke a little more better today. I went all over the place because, I did get some advice how to be. And I think I'm doing, if you look at the first video compared to this video, you'll see the growth. And that's what I'm here for us to do, is to grow together. So, like I said, I challenge you once again, check the way you think. Check your thinking. Understand what you're paying attention to. Watch what you're learning. What's the other one? I'm sorry, y'all. Excuse me. Watch what you're reading. Okay? Even your reasoning. And please take this information and turn it into knowledge. Because we are smart people. I've been upside the head with a pipe 3 times. Right here, and back here. I've been flipped upside the car. My daddy used to punch me in the back of the head, knock me out. I done been knocked out. I've been on drugs, I smoked weed 20 years plus. And God gave me the grace to sit here and talk like an intelligent person, a person that knows and experience and sharing how you can change. Thank you for watching Trauma Support Group Management by Mr. Darrell Walker, and change your thinking. Thank you for watching.